and welcome to Above All Else, a podcast for women who want to grow in their relationship with Jesus Christ. And we are so excited to be here with you. I've got Jen and Emily, and it's been a crazy time, I feel like, for all of us over the last little bit. But so excited just to be back together. So Emily, I know you've had some pretty exciting life changes happened lately. So tell us about those.
Well, I am now a grandma.
And I missed the
So,
grandma name. What is your grandma name?
Birdie. I'm a
Oh,
birdie.
Birdie.
And Jason Bird is Papa J. So now that's what well, let me take that back. I had given, we have talked about all the names, and with Adeline and Chase, we have talked about it, and with all the girls, and everybody has their opinions. And so, anyways, I had given, and the baby's name is Eleanor. So I given Eleanor a book, and we'd written in it, and then we wrote our four chosen names. Okay, love, Bernie, la, blah, blah, blah. And so, anyways, when we got the thank you note back, it was like, Dear Birdie and Papa J. It's like, okay, so they decided.
Is it? That's
Oh,
cute.
but she is. My goodness, she's precious. And I got to spend 2 days with her this week, loving on her. And I even got to keep her without the parents. They went to church, and she's like, Atlas, like, would you want to keep her on Wednesday night? It's like, yes. My kids are gone to camp. So I spent 2 days in Virginia with her. And anyways, it's just wonderful. And she's perfect. And seeing Adeline and Chase just so naturally walk into parenthood, and it's just been the most beautiful thing. So my heart is, I'm overflowing. It's just wonderful.
I love that. My grandma's name was Mama, like her actual name was Birdie. She was Birdie Lee. That's why I'm Brianna Lee. But so she was Mama Birdie. So that's precious. Oh
I
man.
love it. Now, who
Jen,
knows what Eleanor will call me though? I mean, there's
well,
not
they
too many
just,
kids who can say there are, so I may end up being her buddy. Like, oh,
that would,
buddy too.
that would be so precious too. Oh
I
my
think so
goodness.
too.
Yes.
Oh man. Jen,
And it
you have also had some big life stuff happen too. You can tell
yeah.
us what's going on.
Yes, we are so excited. Our oldest daughter and her boyfriend got engaged on our beach vacation, and it was so fun. I asked Jarrett at some point, that's his name, at some point during like the planning, I said, is it more important to you that it's what she wants or that she's surprised? And he said that he wanted her to be surprised. So we worked really hard to make sure that it was an absolute surprise. Like her nails weren't done. I mean, she was pretty because she thought we were doing pictures. I mean, she's pretty all the time anyway, but she wasn't even wearing the dress that she had made her sister and I like promised that we would make sure she was in this dress when she got engaged. And so she was totally like, it was 100% worth it. She was completely surprised. So it was so fun. And we're super excited about what's to come.
I
Yay.
love that so much. That's so exciting. Those are such exciting things. We got babies and weddings happening, and oh, it's
And
so fun.
graduations
Yeah,
too.
and our
Yeah.
son graduated, yeah, from high school, and he started working at an HVAC company, and so he's been working like 60-hour weeks
Oh,
and
wow.
doing real man work. Like he goes to work at 6 in the morning and gets home sometimes at 8 or 9, and we are loving that too. So that's been really good for him. So we're excited. We've got a lot of fun things happening in the Kish house. So
That is
transitioning
exciting.
to a new season.
Yes.
That is so
Yeah.
fun.
And doesn't it happen quickly? Oh,
Yes.
goodness.
Yes. I told someone I felt like, when the first one you're like on the roller coaster, the first one's like, goes to middle school and then goes to high school and gets a driver's license and then graduates. And then after that, it's like, whoosh, like I feel like just the ones coming next are just on along for the ride. So Bree, you'll be on that roller coaster for a bit and then you'll feel it too.
Yeah.
But it's
Well,
kind of
I
wild.
even feel like the fact that Braylee's about to be in third grade, I'm like, ugh, like what is happening?
Yeah.
So, cool, that's crazy. But
Well into elementary. That's like halfway.
yeah,
Yeah.
that's why I'm like, oh my gosh, like
Yeah.
Kaylin said to me the other day, she said, Mom, I'm gonna grow up and I'm gonna be bigger, but I'll always be your baby. And I was like,
Oh,
thanks, KK. Appreciate
sweet.
it. So she's a sweetheart sometimes. Sometimes she is a second born through and through. And oh
It
man,
keeps life fun.
it keeps it interesting, that's for
Love
sure.
her.
That's fun.
And tell us some of your big things too. You're always doing big stuff, Bree. So give us something that you have been doing this summer.
Um, okay, so well, at the end of the school year, ran a marathon. That was a pretty big deal for me, like pretty big thing in my life. I was like, I told someone said, "Why are you doing this?" And I was like, "Well, here's the deal. I am never gonna be part of any 1%. Like I'm never gonna be the 1%, but 1% of the world's population have run marathons. So I was like, this is the only 1% I'm ever gonna be a part of. So let's do it. Let's go. Never gonna, I'm a teacher, husband's a pastor. We're never gonna make 1% type of money. So I was like, here's the 1% we're going to be part of. But also I just love to run and it was fun. There was a moment, like there was a stretch of about 3 miles where I was so angry at the hill that I was running up. I was like, what am I doing? But no, that was great. And then we just got back 2 days ago from Spain. Well, actually, I guess technically we're still at a little less than 48 hours back.
Right.
So we just got back from Spain on a mission trip, and so got to go do that and just love on some churches and some people that needed Jesus. And so anyway, so that was the real big. And then next month we have one more, which is a vacation. It's not a trip, but it's or a mission trip, but we're going to England, Joseph and I. So we're gonna go to England for a few days, well, for like 10 days, and we're gonna do. So that's basically, I don't have any big kid life updates. They're just still going through life. Kid Brayley got back from camp for the first time, so that was, I guess, a big deal. But yeah, that's our life. It's I don't know.
Wow.
Well, I am completely content to be in the 99% when it comes to running marathons. I'm,
Agreed.
I'm beyond okay to be below average there. And
Can you walk a marathon? Like, why does everybody have to run?
So there's a time limit on most of them. There are
oh,
some that you can walk, but like the one I ran was a Boston qualifier, so you had to finish under 6 hours. And so, I mean, I guess if you were like, if you could power walk, because you had to average, I think it was like 13:44 per mile to finish at 6 hours.
yeah.
So some of them you can walk.
Yeah.
I love to skip. I think skipping is so much fun. I would skip.
That is the most perfect
Skipping.
Emily Bird thing ever. Like, I should have known that about you, that you love to skip. That's your personality. Yes.
I love
Yes.
that. We played this game in Spain where we were
I
like,
love to skip.
who over the age of 45, like you have to skip. And some people just completely forget how to skip. Like the way some people skip, they're I have a video of it. I was like, I'm not putting that online because that'll embarrass all those people that can't skip. But it was so
Oh,
funny. It was like, see if you can remember how to skip. And it was like they couldn't remember. But I could see that. I could see you being a skipper.
when we're going around the neighborhood, I will happily skip the neighborhood. My children, on the other hand, leave me or really give me a hard time. So I have
That's
to walk,
hilarious.
and so I do
Listen,
my power walking with my arms.
No,
you skip if you want to skip. That
I
is,
love that.
I
you
do.
are,
So maybe I could skip a marathon. But
there you go. That would be fun.
I'll make news that way. But hey, I want to hear more about your trip. I think that's an excellent topic, world missions, and how we also, sometimes missions don't always look the way we think they're going to, and
Mhm.
we go in with expectations, and that it's not always fulfilled. But we know beyond a shadow of a doubt that we are all, every single one of us, if you are a believer, you are called to be a missionary. The Lord calls us to go and make disciples of all nations, and that includes Spain. That also includes the backyard here in Evans, Georgia. So anyways, we'd love to hear more about your story.
Okay, yeah. So, I just to preface have because there's a little part of me was very much so. So I love the Hispanic community. Well, Spain is very different than Hispanic community, like very different. And so there was a part of me that was very like I was grieving the fact that I was not going to be back in Ecuador with the culture that I have grown to love and that I enjoy. Um, and I was just kind of like, okay, Lord, like Spain. Okay. But one of the days, like it was like the second day we were there, I was finishing up the book of Romans. And I was finishing up I was doing chapter 15 was that day and then 16 the next day. But chapter 15, Paul is talking to the Romans and he's saying, I long to be with you, but I there are already people in Rome that know about the gospel, so it's not going to benefit them if I come. And he says, um, and thus I make it my ambition to preach the gospel, not where Christ has already. I didn't see that coming. Sorry, y'all. Not where Christ has already been named, lest I build on someone else's foundation. But as it is written, those who have never been told of him will see, and those who have never heard will understand. And he says, this is the reason I've been hindered from coming to you. But he says, hey, I've got to go to Spain and tell the people. Literally, Paul is like, I got to go to Spain because they need Jesus. And I don't need to come to Rome and build on somebody else's foundation. I need to go literally to Spain. And I was like, okay, Lord. Okay.
Lord. Wow.
Right.
And what type of plan, like, how did you land there on that day? Like, because obviously the Lord was preparing, he knew when you were going to read that chapter.
So I started the book of Romans 15 days earlier. And I just started going. I was like, you know what, Lord, like lead me, guide me to a certain book. Like I'm deep diving into this. Braylee and I have really started I'm teaching her how to do like REAP journals, like read, explain, apply, pray. And so we've been doing that over the summer. And so I just landed in Romans 15 days earlier. And the Lord was like, and I mean, I was gaining so much from the rest of the book of Romans, but he mentions twice that he has to go to Spain because he needs to go tell the people who have never heard. So that was like a backstory for me coming into this was like, oh Lord, like why? What am I? Because when you think Spain, you think, oh, they know about Jesus. Like that's Europe. Like people in Europe know about Jesus. They have like, why wouldn't they, right? The Catholic Church is massive in Europe. Well, that's a problem. That's the main problem. And I might get us all canceled for this, and I just apologize for it, but I'm not apologizing for it, actually. That's not true. So we get to Spain, and we're talking to the pastor, and we're like, so listen, we've done VBS with kids. We like go into the cities and like minister to all the little, to little kids. We help you with VBS and all that. So he's like, yeah, we don't need help there, but we do need help just evangelizing. Like, we just need you to go help us literally share the gospel, like telling these people about Jesus. But we need you to do it in a way. So we have this soccer ball that's different colors. And the bracelets that are like red, white, green, gold. Mm-hmm. So it's a soccer ball because that's already getting into their culture. Like we're diving into their culture, things that they know about. And then we explain the soccer ball. So the first day we're there, they're like, hey, listen, we're going to go to this park and we're going to go just tell people about Jesus. Like, that's what we're going to do. And they had told us, so Franklin Graham was there 2 days before we got there. And the dates, originally he wasn't going to be there. Like this, when we planned this, we did not know he was going to be there. So Franklin Graham is there 2 days before we get there and holds this conference, and Michael W. Smith sings and all this stuff. And so the government then says, hey, listen, because the gospel has been preached here in Spain, you now need a permit to do anything. Like, you want to go talk to people in the park at all, like, not just like if you want to go approach people in the park, you have to, like, because of the message you're bringing, you have to have a permit.
Mm.
And we're like, cool, cool, cool. Okay. So the first day we get to this one park and there's this field trip of these little kids there. So I'm like, well, I have the soccer ball in my hand. So me and Vicky, one of the ladies who she used to be an IMB, or I guess they still are IMB missionaries. I don't know that you ever just like stop do that, but like they used to serve on the field in Ecuador, and they've served in Spain and in New York, all kinds of places. And so she and I start to tell these kids, but she's like, hey, listen, we can't just come out of the gate being like, this is sin, this is what it is, this is, she was like, we have to approach this a little differently. So I'm like, okay, we got this. So we're starting to go over all the different colors of the ball, and we get to white. And so she's like, what, what makes your heart white and cleans your heart? And this little boy says, Jesus Cristo. So he's like, Jesus Christ cleans your heart. The teachers shut us down. They were like, you're done. We're done. You have to get away from our kids now. And we're like, okay, that's okay. Like, we're not going to be disrespectful to these teachers. And so we're like, okay, well, thanks for letting us share. Like, here are some little, we had given the kids the little tracks before they had shut us down. So the little kids had the little, it just is basically like the colors of the soccer ball, and it explains it. It explains what we were unable to explain. So later that evening, so what we did was we were like, well, we're going to get in a lot of trouble if we go back over to those kids. So as a teacher, I was also like, let's not terrify those, teachers and make them think that a bunch of Americans are going to come kidnap these, children. So we did a prayer walk, and we just walked the park and just prayed over every inch of that park, and just praying that the gospel would, go forth, and that it would, that people in that park would meet Jesus. And as we're going through that park, like, right, like that's what Jesus said, like, as you're going is how it translates. And he says go, but as you're going. So as we're going, we're telling people about Jesus. We're meeting these people. We did snap a few pictures because it was a beautiful park and we were in Spain. Like, we didn't take pictures of the little kids, being like accepting Jesus, or not accepting Jesus, but like talking about Jesus. But we did take pictures of architecture because it was there. But in the moments, like the ministry moments, like we were very present. And so there weren't a lot of pictures of those moments because we're all trying to be very present.
Yeah.
So we said, okay, well, there's another park down the road from our hotel. We're going to go to our hotel, and then we'll go over to that park. So we go to that park, and we're walking around, and all of a sudden this, like, we had our guitar still with us because we hadn't quite, like, that was the one thing that didn't get left at the hotel. So we're like, well, let's just play some music. So they start playing some songs, some Jesus music. And then it turns into like testimony time. People just start sharing their testimonies. So then the police come up and they're like, hey, we're shutting you down. Like, you can't do this. Like, you cannot be, like, we're not causing a scene. Like, this is not like this is literally a public park. Like, think Coolidge Park, and there's a group of people just kind of playing guitar, singing, talking, and people are coming up and joining the group and just kind of like listening in, and they're like, hey, we're shutting you down. Like, I have a picture that I was like,
do you have your permit? Can you show them? It's like, I've got a permit to do this.
Yeah, so they said that the guy goes over and he's like, well, here's our permit. And they were like, cool, you have to shut that down still. You're done. Like, it's after hours. It's like,
is it because you're American, or can Can locals do that or no?
So, no, locals cannot if you are preaching the gospel. So, yeah, because it was locals that got our permits for us. So the Catholic Church runs the government in Spain. They do. So right after Franklin Graham came, the Pope decides I now have to go on a world tour of Spain and shut down everything, make sure that they know what is truth, right? So he shows up in like the places that we were going. He's there the day after us, or he was in Barcelona the day after us, and he was in Madrid, like the city of Madrid, the day before us, and just like shutting down anything that Franklin Graham had accomplished was the goal. Like, we're shutting it down. We're letting you know where your true allegiance lies. And so we went on our second or third day. We got to go to a home, or like a facility for adults with special needs. And it was the most fun. We played games with them, and we like sang just some songs with them. And then we had like time to share the gospel with them. And we were supposed to go the next day, we were supposed to go to a nursing home and then go back to that home for disabled adults. And the government said, you're not allowed to go back there. We're taking your permits. Like, we are revoking your permit. You're not allowed to go back there. We don't like the message you're sending. You can't go back. We're like, okay. So,
People in, like, doors just slamming. Like,
yeah. So we had to pivot, and we're like, okay, Lord, like, and then because of Papa Leon, the Pope, being there, transportation in and around the city was outrageous. So we had a plan for transportation. Our transportation got completely derailed. We ended up having to spend a lot bit more money on transportation, but it was the craziest thing. Every morning, at our hotel, we would have like a team time where we would just kind of share with the Lord, because we each had to come up with a word. And my word that the Lord had just kind of been like bringing to my mind was surrender. Well, he's bringing like surrender. And then I'm in Romans 15, and I'm like, surrender your ideas, like surrender what you thought missions looked like. Surrender this idea that like missions looks like going to this place where you really want to go. No, it looks like taking the gospel to people who don't have the gospel. And so, anyway, we have this team time. Well, this woman joins us, and I was like, does anybody see the random lady? Like, nobody? Okay, that's fine. Well, this lady, Lisa, ends up walking around with us and going like with us to all these parks and praying with us. And like, she's like, yeah, I'm here for 10 days visiting my friend, but my friend has to go to work during the day. So she stayed with us. One day she said, are we like, because our plans had been changed so many times because of being shut, like every door we were trying to go through being shut. She goes, are we going home soon? And I was like, Lisa, you did not know what you were signing up for, huh? Like, you thought we were going to be in and out. No, ma'am.
Is Lisa a local?
No,
is Lisa local, or
from, I believe she's from China. She speaks Chinese and a little bit of Spanish and even less English. But she was like telling us that she loved the Lord. And I was like, what in the world would it be like?
Wow.
She just decided, this group of random strangers, I'm going to get on a bus and go with them. Like, it was Jesus. And so
isn't that beautiful how he binds hearts together?
Really,
you don't know this lady from Adam's House Cat, yet she has a connection with you guys. I love that.
She did.
That's what the Holy Spirit does.
100%. And it was just the craziest thing. So we're like, okay, well, Lisa's with us, and she had the opportunity to, I guess, encourage some of us, but also be encouraged herself. And but it was just so funny. I was like, this lady is the most trusting lady. She's like, they love Jesus. They're not bad guys. I'm like, if I were in a foreign country, I would not be like, let me just follow that group of people, of 30 people. Like, Let me just
That
go.
the police keep sending away.
Right,
Like,
exactly.
they're clearly troublemakers. I'm joining them.
Exactly. And so, so sweet Lisa was with us, and she just kept coming back every morning. Like she didn't stay with us, but she just kept coming back. And then we were able to have because they marketed us as a church from Nashville because of Joseph's dad's church going with us. They were like, "Oh, country music. You do country music, you're going to have a concert." So, when we got our permit for our concert, it was a country music concert. Little did they know that only like one person from Nashville was actually going to be in part of the band. So I was like, "Well, Sherry Creekmore, she sang some like old gospel, southern gospel songs, so it was great." But so we had this concert, and the police showed up again. We were like, "No, no, no, our permit says from 7 to 9," and they were like, "It's 8 o'clock, you have 1 hour, like if you're not out, like it's bad news." So we're like, "Okay, we gotta hurry up, and we gotta be," because we had music, but then we had gospel sharing moments in between
Right.
songs, and like people sharing their testimonies. When I tell you that it was like 8:30, and this guy, we're doing this like time of like uh prayer, and it was like, "Hey, if you need anybody to pray over you, like you don't might not speak our language, but like we will get an interpreter over to you and whatever." This guy prayed to receive Jesus at the park, like, and we were literally threatened, like, "You have to be out by this time, 30 minutes left on our clock." And it's like, "You got to be out." And this guy prays to receive Jesus. Um, and then at our hotel, there was this man who at the beginning of the week was like, "I hate Christianity. I hate the Pope. I hate Donald Trump." He kept asking us if we knew Donald Trump, and we were like, "No, we don't know him." Like, we're what? And so he was just like, "Well, I hate him." And we are like, "Okay, like you're welcome to hate whoever you want. That's fine." But he was like, just all the things. He's like, "I hate the institution of religion. I hate this. I hate this. I hate this." The end of the week, our last morning, we were all gathered around in our little group because we had to do it in the courtyard because this is not at like the Hilton. This is like it's a hostel. So we're outside in the courtyard, which is really just got like three plastic tables and some chairs, and it's also a parking lot, so like don't get run over while you're standing here kind of thing. And this guy just starts talking, and Vicky, she's from Ecuador. She speaks English or speaks Spanish fluently, so she just starts talking to him. This man prays to receive Jesus, and he's like in tears, sobbing, and he's like, "I need something. I need something more." Receives Jesus, and we're like, as we were going, we didn't necessarily do a VBS outreach, and we didn't do this outreach, but as we were going, the Lord was putting in our path all these people. We went to church on Sunday. This random new girl decided to just, I don't know how she got there. I don't know why she decided to come. She accepted Christ on Sunday morning and was like, "I need that. And I need whatever this is. Like, I'm missing something." But over or it's 1% of Spain is Christian, like 1%. And there are, I think it was, like I said, 7 million people in the city of, is it Barcelona? And then maybe it's either 5 million in Madrid. Like it's either backward or whatever. But like there's a lot of people, and 1% of them are Christian.
Wow.
And the soil there is so hard. Like you go to places where it's like it's easy to tell them about Jesus. You're like, "I got this thing that you need." Like I think back to like in Ecuador last year, being able to just in the middle of whatever, just being able to talk to these kids about Jesus and like share the gospel. And they wanted something because they were poor, right? They were very poor physically and monetarily. The people of Spain are not monetarily poor. Like this is not a third world country. This is a beautiful country, and it's gorgeous. But these people are so spiritually bankrupt. And it's like, I don't even know how to explain it other than like they need Jesus. It reminded me, the verse that kept coming to me all week was that it's harder for a rich man to go to heaven
Yes.
than for a camel to go through the eye of a needle. And it's like the reason is because they don't think they need anything. And then the Catholic Church was just fighting us at every turn. And when the church runs the government, like the government's then fighting you. And so
Mm.
it was one of the hardest spiritually, like, and because everything was constantly changing, everybody felt this stress of, okay, we now are a group of 40 people, we have to figure out how to get to point A, B, and C. And it's like, because now all of our transportation has been shut down. Like we can't use the buses. We can't use this because the Pope is in town and millions of people are flocking to the Pope and we can't get there. Like we can't use transportation. And so it came with a lot of like curveballs. Thank you so much for tuning in to Above All Else. We so thoroughly enjoyed this conversation about missions and how missions happens as we're going, not just because we've gone somewhere. So we talked for a little bit longer than we intended to, but that's okay because we've broken this into 2 parts. So if your attention span is as short as mine is, you can catch the second part of this episode next time. Thank you so much for tuning in.